Welcome into another episode of Inside the Charge. Maddie Glab here as your host, and joining me today is PGA Tour caddy Ted Scott, who is the caddy for the world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler. Now you may be wondering, why is Ted Scott in Buffalo? Well, we're here to help paint that picture. Ted is partnered with an amazing organization called Hope for Opelousas, which is where he's from. Our wide receiver, Keon Coleman, is also from Opelousas and does work with Hope for Opelousas. So they are here on behalf of that organization. And also to take in what it's like to get ready for a game day as an NFL player. Ted, you also got to spoke to the team this week. How has it been being in Buffalo Bills land?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, obviously, I've never been to a NFL game before, and coming here to Buffalo, everybody said you're just going to love it, and the people are incredible. It reminds me a lot of Louisiana. You know, we're known for our culture and the people. Everybody comes together, and especially like the LSU fans and stuff. And so it's just really neat to kind of experience that culture, that small town feel for a big time atmosphere. And I'm excited to be here, and everybody's welcomed us, with open arms. So it feels good to be here.
People say, if football fans say, there's nothing like a college atmosphere. There's nothing like an SEC football atmosphere. And people will say it's very comparable to a Buffalo Bills game. So you are in store getting to experience a home game. Our fan base is wild. As many know, all you have to do is be clued in on social media to see Bills Mafia in full force. You spoke to the team on Friday morning. What did you say to them?
Yeah, I can't give away all my secrets because we don't want the opponents, to be knowing those things. But no, yeah, I got the opportunity to speak to Coach in the spring. We did a Zoom call and, just talking about mindset and how Scottie prepares for tournaments and what makes him good. And so I just tried to share some of those principles that Coach and I had already spoken about in the spring and just share it with some of the players, and hopefully they'll be inspired to think better and get in a better headspace. So it was a lot of fun.
When you are at the top of your game, doesn't matter if you're a golfer or an NFL player, mindset plays a huge part in going out onto the field or going out onto the course and executing at the highest level. We hear from a lot of our players that self-talk is very important. Why is mindset so crucial as a golfer?
Yeah, well, as a golfer, you have time between every shot, about 5 minutes, so there's so much time to think. Maybe in football, things are happening quicker, you're under adrenaline, but in golf, you hit a ball and you walk for 300 yards, and then you hit a ball and you walk for 150 yards. So all you have is time to think. So for a golfer, it's such a game, it's almost like being a place kicker or shooting the winning free throw in basketball. Every shot you have all this time to think. So if you're not in a good headspace over the course of 4 days, you're probably not going to have a chance to win the tournament. So I would say it's probably the most important key for a golfer to start there and then work on the physical attributes afterwards.
It's probably a very important key as a caddy as well, because you are walking with Scottie Scheffler to every single hole. You spent a lot of time with him, and you spend so much time with him throughout a tournament every single day. What do you have to do as almost a mindset coach to help Scottie be able to prepare for the next hole, or just get him in the right space as he approaches a big tournament?
Yeah, well, Scottie's already incredible mentally, and my job is really just to kind of monitor that behavior, because sometimes, life happens, you're frustrated, maybe, something's going on or whatever. So we bring outside influences sometimes to the golf course, or maybe the golf ball's not going in the hole quick enough. So when we get off the rail mentally, it's like, hey, buddy, you're not thinking right. Let's think this way, let's act this way, and it kind of gets him right back to performing at a high level. So it doesn't happen very often with Scottie, but yeah, it's definitely my job to try to recognize whenever that is happening, and then to speak up and try to encourage him to get back focused on task. And he's really good about that, and that's why he's #1 in the world. He's incredible. He's pretty easy to work for, to be honest.
Somebody who performs at a very high level in this building is our quarterback, Josh Allen. You guys got to take part in a chipping contest on the indoor field. There were a bunch of buckets set up, and you guys were chipping balls into the bucket. How was the interaction with Josh?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of funny because they gave me a tougher challenge, and I was like, guys, I carry the clubs, I don't use them. So it's like, why do I have this difficult challenge, But you could tell he's a very good golfer. Obviously, I've heard that Josh is a really good athlete, that he's good at everything, and he likes magic tricks and this and that. And, so he's a guy that really prides himself in being good. And you could tell just watching him chip, I'm like, this guy can play golf. I recognize it right away. But he's got a great personality. He's very warm, easy to talk to. You could see where he could, people would gravitate to him as a leader on the team and want to, do their best around him, and that's what you want in a quarterback. From what from what I'm reading and watching, I don't know a lot about football other than just watching it on TV, but you could tell he's a great leader, and guys are surrounding themselves and getting fired up to be a part of his team, and I think he's going to lead y'all to great things this year.
Somebody who we're really excited to have on this team this year is our rookie wide receiver, Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
You guys share that you're from the same hometown, Opelousas, Louisiana. How did you get connected to Keon?
Yeah, actually through the organization Hope for Opelousas. My wife and I have been supporters of Hope for Opelousas, which is basically an after-school program that gives educational support and does mentoring for children that maybe don't have the education that they need, or they're not caught up educationally, or they don't have the support mentally. So it's an incredible program. Lauren Carrier, who runs it, is one of our closest friends. We love his heart. We see him in the trenches every day, just trying to help people. And so being a long supporter of that, and then Keon actually used to come to live on our street a lot, and one of our neighbors would spend a lot of time at his house and spend the night at his house, and he would mentor him, and he's here, Jonathan Fisher. So we have that connection already. We both love Hope for Opelousas, and then when Keon got drafted here, the Bills Mafia sort of adopted Hope for Opelousas as well, and that's when I started learning more about the Bills and the Bills Mafia, and I was like, wow, it sounds like Louisiana, man. It feels like these people should be cooking a gumbo and talking like that. So
yeah, you'll have to
we'll
teach us how to do that.
That's
yeah,
right.
Exactly. I love that. What a cool connection.
Yeah.
And we're going to have Lauren on in just a bit to tell us more about Hope for Opelousas and the amazing work that they do in Opelousas. What is the best part of being a caddy?
Oh, I think honestly being right there watching the best players in the world, and you're standing right next to them doing their thing, getting a front row seat to greatness, and just watching behind the scenes the preparation. You don't always get that experience, and that's really what you guys have done for us this week. You've rolled out the red carpet, and we're here getting to be around the best in the world at what they do, and get a behind the scenes look and walk side by side with them, and that's just fun. It's fun to be around people. It's like I find myself wanting to go back to my hotel room and start doing push-ups, and I don't do push-ups. So yeah, it's definitely fun. It's a blast.
How did you become a caddy?
I failed as a professional golfer. That's a true story. Basically, when I was 19 years old, I met a man who was 18 years old, and he was amazing. And he taught me, he said, Ted, every person is superior to me in some way, therefore I can learn from them. Even a bum off the street has something to offer me, so I never look down on anyone. I'm always looking to learn. And I took that philosophy and I've applied it to my life, and I thought, hey, I'm trying to play pro golf. Let me go try to caddy for a week and just see what makes these guys so good. What do I lack? What do they have? What can I strive for? And the guy that took me in was named Grant Waite, and Grant asked me to do it again and again. And I was like, hey, this is a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. And as I did it, I started to realize how far I was from these guys. I was talking to one of your guys here and saying it'd be like me coming in here trying to be a punter, and all of a sudden I'm kicking 10 yards thinking I'm gonna be in the NFL, and then you realize these guys can kick it like 80 yards, and you're like, yeah, I probably should just stick to carrying the equipment. So I quickly realized I wasn't good enough and said, hey, can't beat them, join them.
You still get to be in the ring with them and getting to see what's going on, and it's amazing that you get to do it alongside the world #1 golfer right now in Scottie Scheffler. Speaking of Scottie and all that he's done, 7 PGA Tour titles this year, which is incredible, the most since Tiger Woods in 2007. What is his potential?
Yeah, well, don't forget he won the Olympics, so that's 8 wins
That's
this
8?
year. That
8?
counts. I mean, I'm counting the Olympics.
I like it. Let's count it.
Yeah, I think his potential's endless. I mean, Scottie, if you look at the history of Scottie Scheffler, as a junior, he won, 100 tournaments or something, they said, in North Texas. Went to college, had a great career there, got on the Korn Ferry Tour, was Korn Ferry Tour Rookie of the Year, got on the PGA Tour, was PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. He's been Player of the Year the last few years. So the guy's a winner. And, as long as he stays healthy, I don't really see anything slowing him down, other than the human anchor, which is what I can be called sometimes. So as long as I don't get in his way, he should still have great success.
Scottie has done so much in such a short amount of time, the Masters wins and beyond, and just the time that it took, the little amount of time that it took from going pro to start earning those titles. How has it been to be a part of such quick success?
Yeah, I mean, when I got the phone call to caddy for Scottie Scheffler, we were his partner at the Zurich Classic, so I'd only spent a week around him, and I thought he's a really nice guy, but I didn't really know much about him. I didn't know what kind of game he had, and so the first week actually caddying for him, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. And then the second week, you're like, man, this guy's really good. And then the third week, you're like, wow, this dude can play, you know. And then you see how hard he works and what kind of mindset he has, and so I was like, this guy's going to win soon. You never know what's going to happen, how many wins you're going to have. But yeah, it's been a surprise to me. But to be honest with Scottie, it's not a surprise to him. You know, it's what he works for, and he believes in himself. And he's not shocked when he wins. You know, the first few times maybe some people are, but this guy, he's a winner, and he signs up to win, and he steps up to win, and he prepares to win. So, you know, it's been a joy. I'm very blessed to be on the front row watching it, you know, and walk side by side with him for sure.
And what a mindset to have. I think that's something that we can probably all take into our daily lives, is to just have that mindset of being a winner. Speaking of Scottie Scheffler, we're going to put you in the mind of, or just in the mindset of, okay, it is tournament day. We are on the course. Would you rather have a 60-foot putt or a 60-foot chip? Now we're thinking, would you rather have Scottie have a 60-foot putt or a 60-foot chip?
Well, I would say that's a vague question, because what are the circumstances? Are we putting over a mound? Or is it a good lie? Is it a bad lie? Is it a bunker shot? You know, so there's a lot of details that go into that. But just right off the bat, of course, these guys would rather putt. You know, putting is pretty simple. As long as it's nothing goofy, you're going to putt it closer, and that's good advice for amateurs. Get your putter out. You know, you're not that good at chipping, so just get your putter out and use it as often as possible.
Get your putter out, everybody. Okay, one more of these. A 90-yard shot from the rough or 180 from the fairway?
90 from the rough all day.
Okay.
Yeah. Statistically, the pros are way better from the rough from 90 yards than they are 180 from the fairway.
What question do you get the most from amateur golfers?
How heavy is the bag? That's probably the most the most asked question.
How heavy is the bag?
Probably averages about 45 to 50 pounds
right.
On just a normal day, and if it gets cold, then it can go up pretty quick. We can start adding the jackets in
layers.
there, and
What is the most interesting thing in the bag?
Oh man, the most interesting thing in the bag?
I know every golfer is probably
food
different.
that we didn't know was in there. That would be considered interesting. An old banana, because I'm not the best at cleaning out the bag, and neither is he. So yeah, if you dug in our bag, you'd probably find some old food that we haven't eaten that you're like, gosh, why is that still in there? You know.
That's great. What's something you wouldn't normally know about a caddy, but is very important to what you do?
Man, I would say. Not important to what we do, but what you wouldn't know about a caddy is not all great caddies are great golfers. So that's kind of a fascinating thing, and everybody assumes that because you're a caddy like you guys did, you assume because I caddy for world number one, like, hey, let's give him the small buckets, and I'm like, what is this unfair? Why do I have to have the small bucket hitting shots? You know. So yeah, that's surprising. You know, there's great caddies that I'll go play golf with and be surprised. Like, this guy's actually not that good at golf, but he's really good at caddying. You know, so. That's an interesting thing that I've found over the years.
One last question for you before we welcome Lauren on to the set. What have you learned from NFL players, NFL coaches, as you've been here Friday during a practice day, Saturday as well, and now Sunday as game day is about to take place and unfold?
Yeah, I think being here, number one, you're around a bunch of alphas. You know, these guys are out here tackling and blocking and running really fast, so they're huge. You know, you're kind of like, don't make eye contact. I'm walking around the hallways like looking at my shoes, and you know, that's number one. Just yes sir. I say yes sir to everyone. But the main thing is just you know, really excited about how hard they work, how eager they are to learn. You know, some of them have come up and asked me questions like, why are they asking a caddy question? You know, but people are just willing to learn and grow, and that's really. Over the years, I've seen that the best athletes, the best players, they never stop learning, you know, and it's a great way to be. It's like, show up every day, work hard, and be willing to grow. You know, we never figure it out. You never quite get there, you know, and I think it's the same in football. That's what I've seen this week, is that guys are just trying to keep getting better, and you're like, he's already the best. Why is he trying to get better, you know? And that's the mindset of what got him there, and that's the mindset of what keep him there. So that's been really fun to experience. Yeah, mindset plays into a lot of the top-tier athletes in this world. It's the reason why Scottie Scheffler, big reason why he's been able to win so many titles this season. All right, we're going to take a break, but when we return, Lauren Carrier, the Executive Director of Hope for Opelousas, is going to join us. So stay tuned.
We now have Executive Director of Hope for Opelousas joining us, Lauren Carrier. Lauren, thanks so much for being a part of the crew that's in town this weekend to spread the good news on everything you guys are doing and get to link up with Keon and Ted. I think it's so cool.
It's been so special
when the sports worlds collide.
Oh, it's
How
wild.
has that been for you to have, Ted Scott, who caddies for Scottie Scheffler here, as well as Keon Coleman, who is having just such a great rookie season?
I know, it's been so cool. Whenever he got drafted and everything went wild, I didn't realize that we were going to get drafted too when that happened. And so, Ted is a great
family.
I know Ted is a great friend. And whenever Keon made the comments about Tiger wish he could, and the money was coming in from our giving day, and the Bills were participating, I was like, Ted, would you be willing to come up with me to Buffalo?
Yes.
And like come and meet the team. We could shoot some content with Keon and golf and coach him up. And Ted was just like, man, let's go. And then for him to get connected with Coach and there be so much, similarities between them and them to really hit it off, it's like a dream come true. I pushed a ball and made a phone call, and
here we are.
And here we are, just crazy. So,
I always say the sports world is so big on the outside looking in, but once you get in it seems so small because the connections that you can make. You can probably find somebody like through so many different NFL teams, and I just think that's so neat. And I do think sports just is such an incredible uniter in this world.
So good.
And the
So
work
much
that
good.
you guys are doing is so awesome. It's all about community, love, and the potential of a child through education. So what is Hope for Opelousas?
Thank you for asking. Hope for Opelousas is a homegrown nonprofit in Opelousas, Louisiana. So we began to ask the question, how do we love our neighbors? Opelousas is unique. It's got its own positives and some really challenging problems as well. And so for us, we wanted to love our neighbors. Our neighbors were families with children. And so we started dreaming about it and learning, and we started with 12 little kids in one little house, providing after-school tutoring, just a safe place for kids to be, and loving relationships with adults and other peers that they can have. And so that's what we do. It's a long-term commitment. We start in first grade, and we've grown all the way up through 12th grade. So picture a little neighborhood with these bright colored houses, and we started with one, and now we own about 12 houses, all stripped together. And so each house has a different grade in it. Kids get off the bus, they come in, get a snack, get a hug. We work tightly with our school district. We want to support them and the parents, and so we know what our kids have for homework that day. It's signed by the teacher. We know what their grades look like right now because we have the login. We get to coach our parents up and walk with them, and really build a strong relationship. It is family, and that's what it becomes for our kids. And we have amazing opportunities as kids get older. They can work for us and mentor the younger kids. So the best case for a kid is they stay in, they get loved on, and then they realize that I can do that too. I want to come work for Hope, and so they get to do that as a junior or senior. And we have some amazing, exciting leadership opportunities for the high schoolers too. We do some high adventure backpacking, canoeing all over the country.
Very cool.
And so it's a wild ride. We're a small little nonprofit that has big goals to keep growing to serve more kids.
Ted, when did you hear about this awesome family, and how did you get involved with Hope?
Yeah, I think I met Lauren and just kind of was like, this guy's just different. When you get around someone, you're like, I need to know what this guy's up to. I need to spend time with him.
Good vibes.
And then as you just heard his heart, I'm trying not to get teary-eyed here. Whew. It's just like, I want to support this dude.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And Lauren, when did Keon start to get involved in Hope for Opelousas?
Yeah, so we started in 2008, and so at that time, I would say probably he was too young to get in right when we started, and so was his little sister, Candace, who just graduated this year. And so Keon got in as soon as he could. Back then we were only in 4th grade, so all of his older siblings were all in our program. His mom was one of our most active moms, a mom who was available, who wanted help, who appreciated appreciated all that we did. So we got super close to her early on. And so, yeah, I've got pictures on my phone that I don't show to everybody of Keon from a little tiny dude. Although I have this cool picture where it's like, you know, him still looking like a junior high age kid. And then the next year, he's by all of his brothers and he's bigger and taller than all of them in like a year and a half's time. So, you know, his whole family have been a big part of what we've done. I've been super close with his brothers, and you know, we're blessed to have them. They're a really awesome family to be a part of what we do. And so yeah, for a long time from the jump, and it's very special.
Opelousas is in the name of Hope for Opelousas. It's where you guys are from and live. It's where Keon is from. For those of us in Buffalo who don't know much about Opelousas, Ted, why is Opelousas so special?
South Louisiana is incredible for food and culture. Some of the best spices that you probably ever taste are made right there in Opelousas. The people are just very friendly. You know, we come together, and I met some of Keon's family this past week, and they're just like, oh, you know, you're from Opelousas, and we have this connection. I met one of the coaches here that's from Church Point, you know, which is a town, a neighboring town.
Right,
it's just a unique culture, and it, like I said, it kind of feels like Buffalo. You know, you guys got your wings, we got our Cajun food. You know, so food and culture just makes it super special, and we all love to do community together and get behind a good football team. So
heck yeah. I would add to that, family is a really thing that makes what we do, what Opelousas is special for. And so family is kind of that uniting piece for a lot of people. A lot of big families, cousins, aunts and uncles, people don't move away, you know, they're kind of all there together. So family's rich. And yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful historic town. It's the third oldest town in Louisiana.
Wow.
And you guys got to come check it out.
I know. We Buffalo people have got to, you know, got to take a little off-season trip
Come
to
on.
Opelousas and see what it's
go.
all
Hit
about.
us up. We'll be your tour guides. We will
You
welcome
spoke
you.
about the Cajun. I mean, people love chicken wings here, and there are some places that do some pretty good Cajun wings. I don't know where they're getting their Cajun seasoning from, but maybe, you know, we can
give
get some from Louisiana.
Can we say about where we ate last night?
Go ahead,
So
shout
we were
it
at
out.
Duffy's last night.
Nice.
And they have the Cajun dry rub and then
Yeah,
the
at
honey
Duff's.
Cajun. Yeah. And they were both amazing. So
Yeah.
Shout out. Keep it going, guys.
There's several places who do Cajun wings so well here, and they're so good. When you get a little bit of medium with the Cajun seasoning, you cannot go wrong if you're eating that in Buffalo, New York. Lauren, going back to Hope for Opelousas, why is it so important, the work that you guys do in that community?
Yeah, you know, for our community, we have a lot of single parent households. We have very high poverty rates. And so, you know, that has all sorts of implications. You've got mom running in 2 jobs, trying to keep all the plates spinning. You've got education systems that are already really taxed because of children who are behind. And so, you know, for a mom to know that I've got a safe place for my kids to be, it can give her peace of mind. We've had parents be able to pursue other goals, go back to school, you know, get their nursing degrees and things like that. So, and every human being just needs love, you know. So whenever you can find a safe place like that in a community to be a part of and to grow up in, you know, these kids make memories with each other that they'll never forget. You know, I have our past graduates, the second we get together, we start chopping it up. We're talking about all the trips that we've been on. And remember that time we lost Ty in the mountains and whatever it is, whatever story it is, you know. So it's just the fabric of what we all need for development, and maybe some of our families wouldn't get that otherwise. Not to mention the experiences and the opportunities and the doors. And so relationships are everything. And so they get the relationships with us. With our staff is amazing. You know what they do on a daily basis. They're given their very lives. Every one of my staff members have had a student live in their home with them for a season. Not because we asked them to, because that's just the way that they live and the hearts that they have.
That's amazing.
And so yeah, it's crucial, it's needed. We have 108 kids in our program, and we've begun an expansion to double that number to 200 in the next 5 years. And so I mentioned all the houses. We're not even using all of them yet. We've been buying to renovate to get ready for this expansion. And so the timing of like all of this is so wild for us.
What is next for you guys?
Yeah, so last year we purchased the shopping center, and it was a kind of a shopping center right across the street from the footprint of where our campus is. It was built in the 50s. It's got good bit of deferred maintenance. We're going to be bringing it back to life. It has some tenants in it, but it's got an open section. And so the last piece that we need is a new home for our high school. And then we'll have all the pieces that we need to get that expansion done. And so we're going to do a renovation on that property. So that's what's next. That's the next kind of big piece that we're getting done. But this year we've doubled first grade. We added another full-time staff member. We started our alumni association, and so we have our past kids. We're getting them together. We had a Monday night football game when Keon scored his first touchdown.
Oh, amazing!
With the alumni, and so we're trying to just continue to grow as we grow, strengthen those bonds. Keon has really showed us that. And it's funny. It's just I didn't think about when we started, but our kids, this is going to be their mission too.
Yeah.
In ways, and it'll inspire them to go find other missions. It's not going to be their only mission, but it's going to be it's special to see how much value our kids can add, and nobody understands what we do better than our kids who have been through it and our families that have been through it. So
you're going to have a lot of Bills fans continuing to grow the Bills fan base in Opelousas. There already are.
Opelousas is buck wild for the Bills. I mean, we were to the high school football game on Friday last week, and I tell you, we saw 20 kids wearing Keon Coleman jerseys.
Oh my gosh, local celebrity.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Lauren, for you, how cool has it been to watch Keon grow and blossom and develop in the last couple weeks?
Yeah.
He has really come on strong to showcase. I am Keon Coleman, I'm in the NFL, and you are going to notice me.
I'll tell you this, from my perspective, I've run into all kind of new feelings. You feel like a parent would, or a family member would, right? Like you're in the ways that you get nervous. I get so nervous, It's strange, but I am not surprised with what we've seen the last 2 weeks. If you just put on his college film and see what he's been able to do, so not surprising, and we ain't seen nothing yet with what he's able to do. I'm so excited and blessed to him to be in the culture with the leadership of this organization, spending time with Coach Sean and Joe Brady and these, the whole back end of this thing is just amazing, and the right place. Like I said, you feel like a member of your family's here. So for him to be here, we feel so happy about it. He's in the right place.
Yeah, Ted, what type of sense of culture have you gotten from being able to be inside of these walls?
Yeah, I mean, it's neat to be on a team, something we don't do a lot in golf. It's an individual sport, the team's small. Whenever I got to speak to the team, even at the end, the coach said a little thing and they all clapped together, and I was like, whoa, these guys are all doing the same thing and supporting each other, and they kind of take you in and rough you up a little bit. And
they rag each other, give each other a hard time.
It's probably a little bit like our Ryder Cup, It's like we get together, 12 people, and get to hang out and have fun and play together and play for each other. So that's been really neat to see and experience. And like you said, the culture here in Buffalo, but more importantly, even on this team in Buffalo has been incredible for Keon, for this organization and what they've done, and their mindset and their hearts is very special. So we're excited about that.
We always hear from people on the outside who get to spend a few days with the team, with the coaching staff, is, wow, there's such a huge family atmosphere inside this building, and it starts with our owners, and then from down it goes to Sean McDermott and our general manager, and it seems like that's what Hope for Opelousas is as well, and it's so neat to watch these two worlds collide in a very positive way. So thank you so much for taking the time to come sit with us and tell us a little bit more about life as a caddy on the PGA Tour with Scottie Scheffler. How cool, and just all the fun and exciting things that are going on right now with Hope for Opelousas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, thanks guys. Stay tuned for another episode of Inside the Charge.